most YouTube ad buyers are doing retargeting all wrong, because either they're not doing retargeting at all, or they're setting up their campaigns in a way that doesn't reach the right audience at the right time. But don't worry, in this video right here, I'm going to be sharing our entire remarketing strategy so that you can use it in your own accounts and basically just copy what we do here at Links Digital. And this is the exact same strategy that we use with our clients to scale them past 6, 7, and even 8 figures. And as a side note, if you want to become one of those clients and have YouTube ads completely transform your business, check the top link in the description down below. All right, so remarketing can be broken down into 3 distinct buckets or audiences, and each one of them will require a distinct strategy. And these 3 buckets or audiences, and I'll use this word interchangeably, are going to be your top of funnel remarketing audiences, middle of funnel remarketing audiences, and then bottom of funnel remarketing audiences. And I will say that these 3 buckets will look very different for every different unique business out there. For some of them, a bottom of funnel marketing audience could be people that have added things to their cart, while for other businesses, their bottom of funnel marketing audiences could be comprised of people that have jumped on multiple sales calls. So it is going to be very different depending on what sort of funnels and businesses and offers you have. Regardless of how your funnels or businesses are set up, here are some general guidelines to differentiate the 3 different buckets. So the way we think about top of funnel audiences here at Links Digital is that your top of funnel audiences are going to be comprised of people that are aware of your brand or business, or they've recently become aware of your brand or business, but they haven't had any interactions with it. So in real world terms, this could be people that have seen a few of your ads, maybe they've visited your website or a landing page, or they've consumed a few pieces of content that you or your business put out. However, the key thing to note here is that the interaction by the audience is somewhat limited. So as a result, your marketing strategy for this distinct audience segment is going to have to be a little bit unique. Now, one of the things to note here is that you are going to want to keep your campaign frequencies low when you go to remarketing to this segment of the audience. You don't want to bombard them with your remarketing ads. The goals for campaigns in this particular segment isn't going to be to sell anything. In fact, it's going to be to re-engage people and encourage them to interact with your brand. If the audience members in this segment have fallen out of your funnels, your job is going to be to encourage them to get back into your marketing flows and inside your funnels. And you can achieve this by offering things like free content or other lead magnets. All right, so we move away from top of funnel remarketing audiences now down to middle of funnel remarketing audiences. And the distinction here is the people in the middle of funnel bucket category are going to be people that are not only aware of your brand, but have also interacted with them. This would include things like following you on social media, signing up for your email lists or newsletters, or giving their emails and phone numbers for things like lead magnets or opt-ins. That's what this middle of funnel bucket is comprised of. Also, if you have an organic audience, say you have a big YouTube channel or a big Instagram, this is where 90% of your followers will live in your remarketing audiences, is the middle of funnel category. So the goals with the remarketing campaigns with this specific type of audiences is going to be to get them to buy something from you and encouraging sales. A lot of times people in this bracket might not even realize that you are offering something of value or that you're selling something. So you sometimes might need a formal push to move people down the funnel here. However, just like the first bracket, you also do want to be mindful of your frequency just to not over bombard people and annoy them with your remarketing ads. Hey, really quickly, if you are somebody that's looking to get into YouTube ads, whether you want to do it yourself or you want it completely done for you, what I recommend is that you go down to the description of this video and click on the top link. What that will allow you to do is book a free strategy session with somebody on our team where we will sit down with you completely for free and see if YouTube ads make sense for your business. And with that, let's jump back into the video. And the final bucket for us is going to be the bottom of funnel audiences. Now, by nature, this is probably going to be the smallest audience segment that you might have. However, it will probably be the most profitable. All right, so this bucket of people is not only made up of people that have interacted with your brand and are aware of it, but have also shown some sort of purchase intention with your products or services. This is critical here. At some point, this audience segment has considered actually buying something from you. Like I mentioned earlier in this video, this could be people that have added something to their cart. Maybe they've put down a credit card for a free trial, or they've jumped on a few sales calls with your brand. With that in mind, the goal for these campaigns with this audience segment is just going to be to try and convince them to actually buy something from you. At this point, people in this segment have shown some sort of purchase intention, but they haven't bought for a particular reason. So with this audience segment, you are going to want to be targeting them with a bunch of different ads, each of them addressing a different objection that the potential buyer might have to your product or service. At this stage, you really can be a little bit loose with your frequency as well, especially if you have a lot of different ads that are addressing a lot of different buying objections. All right, so now that we have our three distinct marketing sub-audiences, let me jump onto my computer to show you exactly how to set up campaigns for each of them. All right, so we're inside my computer. Let's set up our first remarketing campaign. So I'm just gonna come here, click the plus button, and load a new campaign. Next, we're going to choose our campaign objective. Because we're going after remarketing audiences and we know that the people inside our remarketing audiences are going to be qualified, we can actually move away from some of the traditional campaign objectives. What I recommend is, especially for your bottom of funnel audiences, you stick with create a campaign without goals guidance. However, depending on how big your top of funnel remarketing audiences are, you might still want to stick with things like sales or leads. However, I would say if your total addressable market is rather small, you can get away with going with creative campaign without goals guidance. It's going to be cheaper in the long run. So next we're going to come down and select the campaign type, which is for us going to be video, since we're running video remarketing ads. And then next up, we're just going to be choosing the subtype, which is going to be to drive conversions. And then we don't really need a campaign for performance optimization sub goal. Just hit continue. And then your targeting parameters are going to be very similar to launching a brand new campaign. Again, I have lots of videos on this channel covering that topic. So right now I'm just going to go all territories, all languages, because we know the people that are going to be inside our remarketing audiences. Next, bidding strategy. I want to maximize conversions here. This is very important for remarketing audiences. We're not trying to just find cold audiences and find the people that are most likely to convert. In our remarketing audiences, especially middle and bottom of funnel remarketing audiences, we know people are qualified. They are our ideal audience and target avatars, right? Next up, budget. Again, you can mess around with this depending on how big your top of funnel or cold ads might be. This is going to determine your daily budget. But let's start with 50. Again, if the campaign uses all $50 every day and the ROAS is positive, feel free to bump that up. For us, we're going to be okay with that. We're just going to leave networks and site links as is, then go down to additional settings. And this is where I say frequency capping is very important. The other thing I will quickly go over is devices. So I just want computers and mobile phones, and then let's go back down to frequency capping. Now, this is really going to depend on what sort of offer you might have, but a general rule of thumb is I want to cap views to 2 views per week. You can go up to 3, and I want to cap impressions to 5 per week as well. This is going to ensure that people aren't constantly bombarded with your ads, which is so important with remarketing campaigns. Enhanced videos, we can leave this for now. Ad group name, we'll leave it for now, and go down to audiences. And this is exactly where we're going to be messing around with our remarketing audiences. So we'll go in here, we'll add a new audience, and this is going to be based on your data. And I'm just going to come down here to browse, right? So this is where you can do website visitors, you have custom combinations, you have YouTube users, right? So these are all going to be the audiences, right? So if you have people that viewed an ad, or they've visited your website, or maybe they opted into a list, these are going to be all the different audience segments that we talked about. So let's say we're doing a middle of funnel audience. So we're going to do anyone who's subscribed to the channel in the last 30 days, which if you haven't, you probably should. We put out a lot of free content. So there's my plug. So that is our remarketing stuff. And then we'll just click save. We don't really want to do any sort of demographic targeting based on the same reasons I said earlier. We know who's going to be in here. Let's say subbed 30 days. And I want to click away from optimized targeting just because we're doing remarketing. I don't want Google to expand this audience group, right? So I want to make sure the people that we're targeting are actually people that are only subscribed to the channel, right? Or only visited my website. We're going to leave advanced settings on their own, and your ads, that's where you go ahead and create your ads. And that's basically how you set up your remarketing campaigns. Now, if I was doing a super bottom of funnel remarketing campaign, so let's say somebody that had bought something from us, right, or added something to cart, I would basically just go ahead, remove the frequency capping, and just launch a different campaign. That's pretty much it. You take a YouTube video, paste it here, try and get people back into the funnel, or try and sell them something. That's pretty much it, guys. That's how we do remarketing. Again, this was a brief overview. However, if you want a super detailed look into how we do remarketing, definitely grab the course. The link is going to be in the description below. Cheers.